Dear friends and colleagues, please accept my sincere gratitude for the invitation to speak at the American Horticultural Therapy Association. This is incredible support for our entire country, for all my colleagues, for our Guild of Landscape Architects, and for everyone in our community who creates and helps to create some of the best charity projects in Ukraine for children, for medical staff, for visitors and parents, and even for ourselves. We want to show gratitude by showing how healing truly happens through gardens, rehabilitative, therapeutic gardens. It is a distinct honor for us to speak before such a great nation. Your support and respect mean so much to us. We want to learn more, to share our knowledge with you, and we are ready for cooperation, support, and unity in the field of horticultural therapy, both in America and in Ukraine. My name is Yuliia Rashkovska. I am a landscape architect, and in my personal life, I am a mother who went through a long and difficult period of treatment with my child, spending a lot of time in hospitals. Today, I work on charitable projects to create rehabilitative and therapeutic gardens in hospitals, both pediatric and military. We have a very urgent need to build these therapeutic and rehabilitative gardens because we live with a widespread post-traumatic stress and, as you know, war. I am working and doing research on this topic now. I am also studying in my PhD program and writing a scholarly work about it. Right now, we are in the rehabilitation garden at Ohmatdyt, Ukraine's largest children's hospital, the garden which we created together with colleagues. We began the rehabilitation garden in 2021, before the full-scale invasion. This particular area was created in the first year of the war, in 2022, bringing together a great number of friends, colleagues, ambassadors, and ordinary people who wanted to help create beauty for the rehabilitation of children of the war, for children undergoing oncology treatment, for the medical staff, and for parents and visiting families. Here they can walk calmly, be present, enjoy beauty, feel nature and touch it. There is sensory experience, beautiful, gentle tones. You can even walk barefoot on the ground. This garden includes a sensory zone, gardens of touch, and small architectural forms. Here is the Girl of Victory, a sculpture that was damaged during a missile strike at another location. We restored and installed it here. She is our Girl of Victory. There are many other architectural forms, like this one, we call it Daddy Elephant. Why? Because in hospitals it is often mothers who are inside with the children, while fathers wait outside. So we call this sculpture Daddy Elephant. Hello, my name is Iryna Holovatyuk. I am a pediatric neurologist at the National Children's Hospital Ohmatdyt in Kiev. Today, I would like to speak a bit about the impact of gardens on the brain and on mental health, including children's. Being in garden, in a natural environment, significantly reduces stress by lowering cortisol levels. In addition, the activity of the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for constant control and for ruminating on conflict situations, decreases. Meanwhile, activity in the prefrontal cortex that promotes calming is activated. There is also reduced activity in the amygdala and cingulate gyrus, which are involved in persistent worry and tension. In a garden environment, the hippocampus is activated, supporting attention and concentration. A short walk in a garden improves working of memory. Time in the garden also reduces stress, anxiety, and depression. This is especially true when observing calm, pastel colors that soothe the central nervous system, along with fresh air and a pleasant soundscape. Another important aspect is work in the garden, which shifts attention and engages the parts of the brain which increase serotonin and endorphins, reducing anxiety and alleviating depression. During certain neurological disorders, people may have altered sensory and auditory perception, including color perception. For example, patients with Alzheimer's experience decreased sense of smell. It is important to use familiar scents, for example lavender, which can help them recall and feel safe through subconscious recognition. When designing therapeutic gardens for people with neurological conditions, especially Alzheimer's, some features are essential to ensure safety. Minimize maze-like layouts, an open plan, perhaps circular, so people cannot get lost or feel disoriented. Places to rest and shaded areas, bright familiar flowers against green or similar backgrounds so they can be easily recognized, since pastel tones are harder for such patients to distinguish. It is very helpful to include clear landmarks that are easy to remember, perhaps a statue, a shallow fountain that soothes without posing danger, a distinctive lamppost, or brightly colored doors to aid orientation. Research shows that patients whose treatment includes visiting therapeutic gardens, including work in those gardens, recover faster after a stroke. Similar findings exist for post-traumatic stress disorder. Nature is a place made for recovery. I am certain we should use this therapeutic tool as fully as possible. My name is Andriy Rubel. I am Alexandra Sabirova. We're ambassadors of care of rehabilitation gardens. I first saw Yuliia Rashkovska at a landscape industry conference, where she shared her experience of creating these gardens, particularly the garden at Ohmatdyt. It took me some time to fully grasp that this work is entirely charitable, and that she was the person who managed to motivate and unite so many people for such a cause. It resonated deeply with me. We truly wanted to join and help. At the conference, we met Yuliia, and she asked whether we could help to take care of these gardens. On moral grounds, we immediately agreed and began to work. We ourselves are also garden owners. We know how much a garden affects comfort, emotional recovery, and physical healing. Nature and gardens have a profound impact on people's psyche. Thinking about Ukraine's recovery and people's well-being, I believe that every hospital in Ukraine should have rehabilitative gardens, places where people can step outside, be distracted by beautiful flowers, look at greenery, hear the rustling of leaves, small moments that matter. When you are ill or facing other difficulties, and you are in a medical facility, your state is already low and depressed. If you step outside and see only asphalt and concrete, it only deepens that feeling. A sense of beauty and a connection to nature unquestionably improves lives. For me personally, participating in these projects means offering help not just in words, but in deeds, real results. When a team goes out to tend these gardens, the plants respond. They feel love and care, and then the gardens pass that love on to others who come by. Those recovering from illness, something close to my heart, step outside and see not ruin or neglect, but a tended garden, lovely flowers, fragrances, things that bring joy. It eases negativity and lifts the depression within, healing people's hearts from the inside. There is so much pain and suffering in the world, and every person aspires to fix it somehow. I believe one of the best ways to help is to create rehabilitative gardens for those who truly need them. We joined this common cause to leave a deep and meaningful imprint in hearts of people who need it most. Creating and tending for rehabilitative gardens is not just about plants or landscapes, it's about people. For me and for the entire country, this is a symbol that we are able not only to fight, but also to restore, to care, and to build the future. For our company, it is a great honor to take part in such charitable initiatives. It is beneficial not only for us as participants, but above all for the people who use these gardens. Given what is happening in our country, adults, and especially children, are under stress. We believe that our involvement and the empowerment of natural spaces are truly useful. They allow people to distract from the commonplace and observe the nature, to enjoy it. Ukrainians are not in the best emotional state now. Our work matters because the beauty of nature and plants helps people step away from stress and improve their emotional well-being. Ohmatdyt holds a special, almost sacred meaning for Kiev residents and for children all across Ukraine. It is one hospital that receives patients from all of the Ukraine and provides the best care. This is why our first project was at Ohmatdyt. It is like a childhood trauma of mine that I healed by creating a garden there. Many years ago, when I was a child, I was treated here. It was terrible. I needed to erase that memory. That became the beginning of why I decided to join this project. War has changed our lives profoundly. We needed to do good in response to the evil happening in our country. When drones and missiles fly at you, you must bring good into the world. That was the impetus for me to begin creating rehabilitative gardens together with Yuliia. In these gardens we create, our entire landscape community and local residents come together. We reach out and ask people to help us, because these are volunteer projects. This unites us deeply. In some projects, nurseries from frontline regions donated plants from Odessa, Kiev, Kharkiv, and everything was brought to these charitable gardens. When we talk about gardens, gardens reduce stress. Research shows that nature and greenery create an atmosphere of calm and harmony that lowers stress levels for veterans who have been under constant strain. After combat, the nervous system remains on high alert. Being among greenery reduces cortisol and overall stress. Water has a soothing effect as well. Listening to the sound of water lowers stress and helps people feel present in the here and now, offering a meditative, mindful state. As for color schemes that should surround patients in rehabilitation, warm pastel tones are best. Colors that do not provoke stress, that reduce overall tension, that create a sense of safety and comfort, and evoke pleasant associations. In rehabilitation for veterans, this matters especially because it helps restore a sense of control. Nature and color act like an anchor, returning a person to a peaceful state and context. To a degree, this reduces PTSD symptoms. Natural setting, water, and harmonious colors help lower anxiety, panic, aggression, and irritability. They also support the formation of a new identity, from a warrior in a survival mode to a person learning to live again. And ultimately, gardens support spiritual renewal. Gardens and water, like our fountain, carry symbolic meaning: life, growth, cleansing, rebirth. Using these elements in rehabilitation centers for veterans is not merely about aesthetics. It is a tool for psychological and spiritual recovery that helps restore calm, harmony, and faith in the future. On the front line, plantation often means the remnants of trees, stumps churned into mud. When you leave such places, the more greenery you see, the more calming it is, because everything there is gray, swamp-colored, mixed with soil. You want to be closer to nature, to walk among real greenery. I want to walk through that plantation as it should be, green. Me personally, I love May. the young green that has not yet been scorched by heat with fresh, saturated green. Look at this tree. Everything is in one color palette. Even the hydrangeas are slightly muted with red. Calming hues, greens and blues, are more soothing. Red, in my opinion, is aggressive. For some, it can even remind of blood, something we have seen too much of. When volunteers deliver vehicles, no one is concerned with the color, of course, but when a red vehicle appears, it is often repainted immediately. Fragrance matters too. The scent of flowers evokes home and warmth, as opposed to the smells of dampness, mud, smoke, gunpowder, and blood at the front line. There is a saying that a man should build a house, raise a son, and plant a tree. Perhaps this is why gardens feel closer to man. I recently had surgery. After each chemotherapy session, mine lasts about half an hour, my mother takes me outside. We ride around, and the other day she picked a dandelion for me. It's in my room now. The gardens are wonderful, especially in spring when everything blooms. My friend Nadia and I used to come out together. She is now being treated at the Cancer Institute, but she visited recently. We sat on the benches and talked and walked around. The gardens have a very positive effect on children's emotional state, on anxiety and depression, and they also help them sleep better. They provide positive emotions and aid physical well-being. It's beautiful and aesthetic. You can rest here. We come with kids just to lie down and daydream, and it's wonderful. It's also about socialization. The space is barrier-free, which is very important for our oncology patients and for children injured by the war, especially those with prosthetics who are in recovery. For us in Kiev, it's like a breath of fresh air. The children love it. Yes, it's really wonderful, and they come here with a great pleasure, and we even hold therapy sessions here. It's a touch of nature. These are sensory gardens that influence motor skills. You see, it's so nice, so pleasant, but these gardens, the greenery, the different flowers, they have such a calming and soothing effect. The children love them. When the hydrangeas were blooming, I think I was either hospitalized or receiving chemo, so I don't remember seeing them at their peak. Every color should be here: yellow, pink, violet, blue. I like everything as it is. There is no color I would remove or add. I especially love when everything bursts into bloom. These gardens serve different groups: children, visitors, parents, and we truly want to thank all the colleagues and friends who united to create such a charitable project during the first year of the war, free of charge, across Ukraine, for children, for parents, for medical staff, and for the whole country. Gardens also affect parents. Treating a child in hospital can be a long process. When parents step into a green space with many flowers, plants, scents, and colors, they switch mental gears. That switch is vital. It brings them calm, rest, and I would say inner resources. They return to their child more capable to continue the treatment. When you're constantly in the ward, hooked up to chemo, being able finally to be unhooked and go outside, even in a wheelchair, even just to sit and breathe for a few minutes, it changes everything. It's a different emotional state. You understand you're not in a cage, you're not locked in. In oncology wards, houseplants are prohibited. Except now we have one orchid on the windowsill. That's it. So being able to go out into the garden is incredible. As I said, my chemo is 30 minutes and I spend most of my time outside, walking, rolling around, talking on the phone with friends, just to avoid being stuck in the room. Horticultural therapy is a method of rehabilitation that uses working with plants, contact with nature, and the restoration of physical, psycho-emotional, and social health. This year, 2025, we created another charitable project at the Kiev Regional Children's Hospital, a decorative therapeutic kitchen garden that has become an integrated part of the healing and recovery environment for children. In the therapeutic gardening process, patients, students, medical staff, and parents took part in various activities. Some helped to plant ornamental grasses and vegetable crops. Doctors, students, medical staff, everyone took part. We received gifts of sage, lemon balm, mint, oregano, basil, parsley, tomatoes, pumpkins, ornamental onions, lavender, and much more. Garden care is essential: watering, loosening the soil, observing growth. We also established an orchard of 24 apple trees of different varieties, which we will continue to develop. There is also sensory therapy through touch, scent, and color. Teachers from the State School of Superheroes, which operates inside the hospital, have lessons right in the garden. Children learned about plant properties, growth specifics, and the value of healthy nutrition. This activity gives children a sense of participation in life, develops fine motor skills, attention, and patience, and offers psychological relief during long treatment. The garden creates a living space of distraction from illness, returning joy through play and learning. Contact with nature lowers stress and anxiety and stabilizes emotions. For parents, it offers a space to engage together with their child, strength- strengthening family bonds under difficult circumstances. For staff, the green space provides psycho-emotional support, reduces burnout, and helps restore inner resources, especially for nurses and physicians. The very presence of a therapeutic garden fosters a more humane, patient-centered hospital environment. The therapeutic kitchen garden at the Kiev Regional Children's Hospital is not merely an element of landscaping. It is an innovative tool of horticultural therapy that combines rehabilitative, educational, and social effects. It supports treatment, psychological rehabilitation of children, offers views from the wards, creates a space for parent-child interaction, and helps medical staff maintain equilibrium. Thus, gardening in hospital settings becomes part of a comprehensive approach to health, where medical treatment is complemented by healing through nature. We are now at the alley of memory. Here, each tree is a story, a life that ended at the same time, a life that grows on. Every plant is a symbol of the life our fallen gave for freedom, for our state, for our country. Rehabilitative and therapeutic gardens are our way of saying we have not forgotten, we honor, we restore. Amid the greenery, our soldiers and the families of the fallen find the strength to live on. We came together to plant and create. We come together with the community to care for and to honor our heroes. Here, children learn to dream again. They see their parents and sons. This is where Ukraine is born, that knows the price of pain but chooses the future. I want such spaces to appear in every city, every village, every community, from therapeutic and rehabilitative gardens to alleys of memory. Everyone who has endured war should have a place to breathe, to feel, to simply be alone in silence among their own. I ask you to join our gardens, which will become symbols of respect, honor, and love, and above all, of memory in our hearts, with our plants and our nation. These plants are us, They're our memory, our life that wins.